Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerdturnal Network. I'm your host, the experience that some call Jason, and with me today is...
CDL-113, the droid you're looking for.
The blurred Dawn of the Ville, the Codfather.
And the token poor decision, Tarky.
And today we're going to talk about when film franchises start to focus on nostalgia. And whether that's a sign that the series may be in trouble. I guess our prime example will be the recent Spider-Man No Way Home. Taylor, this one was your ideal, so give us what your thought was.
So, seeing it, there's a lot of movies that do foreshadowing. The MCU did a lot of foreshadowing, and then callbacks to the things they foreshadowed. That's fairly en route within MCU movies. But with Spider-Man No Way Home, it point blank from the trailers onward said, hey, remember this guy? We've got him. Hey, remember this guy? We've got him. And it was just like, the movie's entire thing was just saying, we have all of the old people in with us. You know, if you liked anything we used to do, it's in this movie somewhere.
If you ever liked a single solitary Spider-Man movie, we have that here.
You know, it was the idea of the everything bagel. They just toss it out there and hope it's just right. And I'm curious as like, how many of those could you possibly do before because you can't do a second one because there's nothing left to draw from. But you had to draw from it the first time because people kept complaining that the other stuff was better. So it's just a curious point where obviously they're going to this was essentially a soft reboot when you come down to like the math of it. But just the idea of how many times can you pull that before people get tired of it?
Before we go any further, there may be spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home, so everybody be forewarned. You know, if we get into details on how it's a soft reboot, just in case.
Spoiler. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire in it.
No, Andrew said he wasn't, but he's a liar. Though now he's running around talking about how much fun it was telling people he wasn't in it.
In that trailer, somebody flip kicked the lizard. You just couldn't see who.
Though the internet jumped on that pretty quick.
Yeah, because it was a bad scene to show.
Or was it?
Hey, this nothing just knocked the shit out of the lizard.
You say it was a bad scene, but was that accidental, or were they intentionally feeding the conspiracy? I mean, it comes down to how good was the marketing department. Were they just being lazy and just, edit them out of the scene? Or was it an intentional breadcrumb to get people talking?
I figure it was an intentional breadcrumb.
Yeah, that was about the worst kept secret anywhere.
Well, you basically had, because Maguire never really denied that he was going to be in it, that I recall.
No,
but Andrew did. So yeah. It's like they were intentionally confusing things to make people talk about it and theorize about it.
But the fact that his villain was literally about the first person that you heard that got signed for. Because Jamie Foxx is the second he signed the damn contract, was like, playing hello. So
that's true. With his announcement, you weren't sure what version of Electro he was actually going to be.
Yeah. He was quick to say to let it be known he was in it, and Alfred Molina be Doc Ock again, y'all. So you knew it wasn't going to be it wasn't a big shock that the other two were going. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was just looking online. Current rumor for by the time you get to like their Avengers Secret War kind of thing is hell. They got everybody. Wesley Snipes back as Blade. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Tom Cruise is a version of Iron Man. Though hell, he may actually be in Multiverse of Madness. I think the last rumor I'd seen for him was it's rumored that one of the universes you go to don't have the Illuminati, and Professor X is supposed to be part of it. the Tom Cruise version of Tony Stark is supposed to be in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious as to what they're going to wind up. I'm curious if all the multiverse stuff is going to lead to them rebooting their universe.
Yeah,
That's what I figured.
yeah.
Just so they can recast all the characters that they know people actually want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's probably where you're going to get mutants and all that shit.
The FF.
I figure everything that the past MCU didn't have that you around going, introduce this. I think that's how.
Yeah.
That blended universe is going to have everything that Disney now controls.
Mm-hmm.
Which, basically if Marvel comes along and out DC, because remember, it was DC when Marvel went, all that stuff is one coherent universe. DC shit was shotgunned all over the place. They went, hey, we're a multiverse. Yeah, we're a multiverse. See, we're a multiverse. Look at this multiverse. Scoot over.
And now that it's difficult to make a straight line,
Yeah.
Marvel says, that multiverse thing sounded pretty sweet, actually.
Well, they've done the huge, never before done thing.
Yeah, they did draw a straight line. It's just they finished drawing it and then attempted to continue for a second and went, yeah, okay, nah. We can see where we need to. This is going to be impossible going forward.
This one didn't work. This one didn't work. This one didn't work. Hey, the one that referenced multiple dimensions really worked. But,
well, you see a plan going because the Loki show, as boring as it was.
Yeah. That and the WandaVision.
Well, WandaVision was less anything about a multiverse. That was just her going crazy.
Yeah, but
Loki set up a multiverse. Loki was the one that basically, this is the timeline. This could go south. You found out it had gone south before. And it ended with shit going south.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, with WandaVision, it sets up the magic and the fact that, hey, this is caused by something that screwed up due to magic.
Yeah, but that's just it. The multiverse isn't done that because of magic. The multiverse is like that because they didn't take over for He Who Remains. That dude was the one that was keeping everything kind of coherent.
Yeah.
Right, but we're getting away from the nostalgia thing we're supposed to be talking about. So let's holler back over to that.
All right.
So what do you think made Spider-Man decide to go for nostalgia? Because while some of us here were not big fans of the Holland movies, they did fine money-wise. So what do you think made Marvel decide we need to jump on the nostalgia train?
Well, the trick was they wanted to make Spider-Man the face of the MCU, and without a mega hit, yeah, you give it up. Because they remember at first it was Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, the MCU, and then people basically went, yeah, we don't like this motherfucker. So then it was Spider-Man is gonna be the soul of the MCU, but you still had the thing of Black Panther, the highest grossing. So you had to do something. And what they did was they went with Holland Spider-Man can't beat Black Panther. That's a fact. He had 2 chances to Panthers 1. He couldn't do it either time. So what they do? They brought in every fucking Spider-Man that hell had a movie.
They made it a team, but since the team is made up entirely of Spider-Man, they can still say solo movie.
Right. Yeah. They can still go, it's the Spider-Man movie is the biggest. It's not based off the strength of the MCU version of it. It's based off the strength that people like Toby, that people like Andrew, that you finally had fucking Spider-Man villains in that had a Spider-Man. It was everything that had been wrong.
Yeah.
And they left you in a spot where at last the MCU could at least fucking passable. Because up until that point, he didn't fit. And it's one of those things, you have people arguing this shit. His story was all fucked up. He had none of the. He didn't have the Parker luck. He was running around. He was running around with billions of dollars as a costume. None of his villains hated him. They all hated. He was just in the damn way.
Yep.
He always got the girl. There was nothing because he got Liz. She just dipped when hell you find out her dad was. So they split. But Spider-Man hadn't really cost him the girl. He got MJ as soon as hell he went out. None of that was Spidey. Spider-Man is a character built off of sacrifice. And the MCU version, Holland's versions had sacrifice. You didn't have the Uncle Ben story there. Survivor's guilt to any of it.
Yeah.
None of that, because they basically nixed Uncle Ben from the whole picture. You don't even really know why he changed. Spider-Man is one of those characters that it sucks. His life sucks.
Yep.
And this one, by the time it's over, yeah, his life, he actually had to sacrifice something.
Yeah, I have heard a quote from Holland, or read a quote, I should say, saying that up till this point, he's basically been playing Spider-Boy.
Yeah.
Which I think is a pretty good description, truthfully.
Yeah. He was, because, and even in his current situation, it still needs work. One, it would be nice to have a quipping, funny. That's one of the. Well, Garfield comes in there, and now I can remember before that movie, I'd get on. Tobey Maguire, no, Garfield was always the best Spider-Man because he was actually the one that was the most liked. He was funny.
Yeah.
He's hyperverbal. He was telling jokes. The MCU. That's what I always thought was weird. Likes comedy in their movies, and then they finally got the number one quipper in Marvel, and they made everybody funny.
Yeah.
The teaching staff was funny as shit. He wasn't funny at all.
He was the straight man for everybody else.
Yeah. That was my big issue with Homecoming. Hell, the funniest scene in Homecoming is he's really the butt of the joke. What's wrong with your voice? Nothing's wrong with my voice. I know what a girl sounds like. I'm a boy. I mean a man.
But all this stands to reason that, it's a great cash grab. Do you think they could do it again?
Yeah, they're going to try it again with Avengers.
Yeah.
When they try and get hell. If half the rumors are true, hell, they try to get Owen Griffin to come back. That's
that's really the only thing left they can do, because it's the only thing they're going to pull from their own built history for Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And then after that, they don't have another one.
Well, I like we said earlier, I think the whole cash grab for Secret Wars is basically at the end of it, you have a blended universe where they can do what the MCU said they were going to do when they first, and that's recast.
Yeah.
That's fine. And I love Chris Evans as Captain America. I would love to see him play get somebody else to play Captain America.
Yeah.
You don't throw out the fucking character because this actor don't want to play him. No. That's the same way I am with T'Challa. The man died. Chadwick died. That's horrible. You don't kill off T'Challa because the actor that played him died. T'Challa was older than Chadwick, is carrying on after Chadwick. He is not intricately tied to Chadwick Boseman. That's one of those kind of things where, everybody's got their favorite.
Yeah. And, with them, spoiler, this last James Bond where Daniel Craig's character dies, yeah, you're going to have a new reboot of the Bond stuff in a couple of years. That's all you got to do. Heck, this whole multiverse thing is a perfect way for them to bring in whatever actor they want to take over the Black Panther role. And as far as everybody knows, it's just the same guy. And, because with most comic book characters, every artist draws them slightly different. You look at T'Challa from the, 60s and 70s, he looks different than the one from. It's just, same thing. I mean, daytime soap operas. My mom watched them when I was a kid, and you would have some that had been on there since the actor died or the actress died, or they moved on to do other TV shows or movies. That's just a fact of life.
Spider-Man pretty much did what they did in Day of Our Lives. You had the original actor leave, placed him with somebody, and then you had the original actor want to come back, so brought him.
Yep.
And then you had the whole thing of the actual. Yeah. So fucked up.
Yeah. But that's all they got to do. Jeez.
And in the intro, the No Way Home thing is basically open avenues of cash cow. Truthfully for Sony, because Sony was wanting to do a Spider-Man universe. Problem was, they didn't really have access to Spidey, so now they got their pick. You can have the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. You can have Andrew Garfield and his
Yeah.
Or you can just use one of them in your Morbiuses and your Venoms, and all them Spider-Man villains you want to do movies of that don't make sense without Spider-Man. You can now stick a Spider-Man in.
Yeah.
Truthfully, the only damn thing I want is a proper put one of them motherfuckers in the black costume. Well, Toby's had it, so I've seen how he does it. Put either Andrew or Holland in a proper black costume. Don't just take red and blue, paint them black. Actually, give him.
Yeah.
That was my problem with Venom. Venom don't work unconnected to Spider-Man. The movie Venom don't shoot webs, don't web swing. There's a whole lot of quintessential having Spider-Man.
So Marvel jumped on the nostalgia train for Spider-Man. Sounds like they're going to for the next Avengers movie.
Yep. And DC in typical form is jumping on the nostalgia.
Well, yeah. They're always going to chase Marvel's shirt tails. But my question is it going to wind up like the books where they keep trying the same stunt and they're getting less pop every time?
Eventually, yeah.
Because what they're pulling from gets less and less popular.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of things. It's like they can do that shit once. Maybe, like I said, if they do, some of those folks will show up twice, like in that Avengers movie when they do it. Why wouldn't it? You'll have this period where they can kind of milk it, but it's got to end with basically another sacred timeline. Yeah. And once you get that, that shit's got to be over.
That's gonna be probably your new MCU.
Yeah, and that's what I'm figuring. I'm figuring that all of this crap, this period where you got Shang-Chi, let's throw some new shit up against the wall to sticks. Because we've got to have time to we actually.
Yeah.
If one of these things pops off, great. We got to do something to go with. If the shit flops, let's be honest, we can always try it again once
after the reboot
universe.
But let's change gears for just a little bit before we wrap up. Let's talk about a movie that tried the nostalgia thing and it didn't work.
Superman.
Superman Returns.
Yeah, Superman Returns.
Yes, Superman Returns.
Because, you had the whole Christopher Reeve run that, for the most part, everybody liked them. Some were cheesier than others, but, people liked Christopher Reeve.
The first two, at least, everybody's got fond memories of.
Yeah.
A little iffy after that, but those two for sure.
And, when they said, oh, we're going to do a new Superman, and everybody's like, Christopher Reeve can't do it, and it's
he was dead at the time, so yeah.
Yeah, he was dead by then, but, you had rumors before he died that they wanted to do a new one, and...
Well, yeah, that's where you got the pictures of Nicolas Cage in a black Superman outfit, yeah.
Yep, Superman.
But, when they hired Brandon Routh, one of the things that I heard comment on was, oh, well, he looks kind of like, Christopher, which I don't know that I necessarily see that, but that seemed to be something they were going with. They were, oh, how was it you put it, Todd? The way their advertisements kept referencing Reeves and how much he would have liked it.
Oh, back when I used to say it's like they if they could dig up Christopher Reeve's coffin and bring. Yeah. That was the trick with Superman Returns. It was supposed to be the same Superman, but that movie was supposed to take the place 3 and 4. So if you watch Superman the motion picture, then Superman Returns, and it just didn't. It just didn't. It didn't work.
Creepy peeping Tom, Space Jesus,
Deadbeat Dad. That was a.
And he, damn near dies from a chunk of kryptonite, but he can pick up a.
He landed on the top of the kryptonite island and lost his powers. But then later picks up that same island that he had landed on, retains his powers. Yeah, it was like we were saying off camera. Brandon Routh redeemed himself, popped up as that version as the Kingdom Come Superman in the Arrowverse stuff. Because it wasn't his fault. He just had that movie, whoever wrote that movie, shot.
Yeah.
I mean, that movie was just pure.
At least taken out in the street and had their ass kicked.
They need to have been.
But that's an example of where they were really banking on the nostalgia, and it didn't work for them because they had to leave that movie in theaters 9 months for it to cross.
Yeah, before
to break it even.
Yeah, and that's the trick. I mean, you can use nostalgia. You still got to have a story.
Yeah. Which going back to Spider-Man, they did.
Yeah,
the movie is good. Even if you didn't have the nostalgia aspect, the movie is still good.
Without the nostalgia aspect, is like, it guts it. I will not go. It's got a good, but it's heavily on nostalgia. That's damn near the whole fucking point of the thing. You take out the nostalgia, and that thing don't walk. That thing don't breathe on its own without the villains. At the very least, the villains you got to have there. But yeah, that was one thing. Sitting in, God, everything I like about this movie comes from better Spider. But that was the point.
Yeah,
that was literally the point.
Gave you the quintessential Spider-Man origin, where the MCU Spider-Man didn't. He just Tony went and got him, and he showed up. Like, okay, and then when you get him in his solo film, it's like.
And I will give it this: being around the other better. Truthfully, being around Garfield, because it's like they lightened up some. Because that was my problem with Tobey Spider-Man. Tobey Spider-Man didn't quip either. He told one quip out of 3 movies. Oh, that's a nice outfit. Did your husband make it for you? That's the only fucking out of 3 movies.
Yeah. His portrayal of Spider-Man ruined me on him as an actor until he Hacksaw Ridge.
See, that was one that, I was not soured on him as an actor. I just wasn't crazy about it. He was the Spider-Man that you had because, like I said, second Garfield, that became my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And in this movie, which I was truthfully shocked because I remember, and they fucked up big. And he made the other 2 better. Them playing, I would watch a movie with the Spider-Man just because, hell, I like that damn movie. They played off of each other well.
I said the wrong thing. Garfield is the one that did Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
McGuire, what was the movie that he did?
Great Gatsby.
And he did Seabiscuit because that's where he hurt his back.
Yeah. But it was another movie he did that just portrayal of a particular character. It's like, okay, you can act. You don't know how to play a superhero. Okay, gotcha.
Like I said, I'm not hard on him, Spider-Man. There were 2 things I didn't like McGuire Spider-Man. 1, he didn't quip.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's funny. His Spider-Man wasn't funny. And 2, he could not keep his.
Yeah. Pleasantville. That was the name of the movie.
Yeah.
I like Pleasantville. It's like, because that was I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going into their, their other roles. My thing is, did you get Spider-Man right? You don't quip, you can't keep your damn mask on. That was a problem with Holland. Holland don't quip, and they gave him the techno mask. Garfield kept his mask on. You go to that end fight in Spider-Man 2, he keeps his mask on. When died.
Yeah. He also took it off to save the kid, didn't he?
When the first one, he takes it off to save the kid.
The one he's got to coax out of the car.
Yeah. And then the lizard in the last fight snatches. Watch Spider-Man 3. Tobey Maguire does not keep that mask. Every Spider-Man takes it off.
Yeah, only in the web swinging scenes he leaves him.
That is the only time he keeps his mask on. Fight Sandman, he always took that damn thing. Oh, I'm got this train. I'm stopping this. He really wanted you to know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was one thing. Tony laughed. He's guess what? He's the only one that got his damn. And I'm like, well, then it fits.
So anyway, to wrap up, do you think the nostalgia train is going to work for Marvel, or do you think they'll overdo it and shoot themselves in the foot?
They will eventually beat a dead horse, trying to milk it to the last. But for a while, I think they'll, to put the multiverse in the order that they want, I think they'll try to use it.
They'll milk it until they actually have something.
Yeah.
Up until this point, watching Phase 4, I had wondered, have these motherfuckers got a plan? Because the first go round of it, you tell that it was thought out. This is just now starting to look like it. So, yeah. Let's be honest. If Shang-Chi and the Eternals is all, that shit ain't gonna fly.
Yeah.
That's all they got.
To me,
yeah, they've got one more stop at the quote-unquote station, and that's with Secret Wars. And then they have to have somebody to carry the banner afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and they just don't yet.
With Shang-Chi and the Eternals, it's like, okay, we need like a stopgap, a filler thing. We're going to these two, and starting with this, and then, we're going to link this, and we're going to link this, and it's like movies.
It's like Far From Home through Eternals with them treading water while they got ready for the next something.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap up here. If you agreed with us or disagreed with us, if you've got a strong opinion, let us know in the comments below. Or you can reach out to us at thenerdeternal@gmail.com. You can, of course, find us on Facebook and YouTube. If you'd like to support the show, please like and subscribe. Tell friends about us. Leave a review on your favorite podcatcher. Anything like that would help, and we'd appreciate it. So until next week, I've been your host, the experience that some call Jason, and with me today has been
CDL113, the droid you're looking for.
The Todd Father.
And the Token Millennial, Tarky.
And we'll see y'all next time.